The efficient handling and storing of materials is vital to the construction industry, as these operations provide a continuous flow of raw materials, parts, and assemblies through the workplace and ensure that materials are available when needed. Yet the improper handling and storing of materials can cause costly injuries. Workers frequently cite the weight and bulkiness of objects being lifted as major contributing factors to their injuries. The second factor frequently cited was body movement. Bending, followed by twisting and turning, were the more commonly cited movements that caused back injuries or back pain. In addition, workers can be injured by falling objects, improperly stacked materials, or by various types of equipment. When manually moving materials, however, workers should be aware of potential injuries, including the following: strains and sprains from improperly lifting loads or from carrying loads that are either too large or too heavy. Fractures and bruises caused by being struck by materials or by being caught in pinch points. And cuts and bruises caused by falling materials that have been improperly stored or by incorrectly cutting ties or other securing devices. Since numerous injuries can result from improperly handling and storing materials, it is important to be aware of accidents that may occur from unsafe or improperly handled equipment and improper work practices, and to recognize the methods for eliminating or at least minimizing the occurrence of those accidents. Consequently, everyone should examine their workplace to detect any unsafe or unhealthful conditions, practices, or equipment, and take the necessary steps to correct them. Moving, handling, and storing materials. When manually moving materials, you should seek help when a load is so bulky it cannot be properly grasped or lifted, when they cannot see around or over it, or when a load cannot be safely handled. Workers should also use appropriate protective equipment as necessary to help reduce accident potential. For loads with sharp or rough edges, wear gloves or other hand and forearm protection. To avoid injuries to the hands and eyes, use gloves and eye protection. When the loads are heavy or bulky, the mover should also wear steel-toed safety shoes or boots to prevent foot injuries if the worker slips or accidentally drops a load. When mechanically moving materials, avoid overloading the equipment by letting the weight, size, and shape of the material being moved dictate the type of equipment used for transporting it. All materials handling equipment has rated capacities that determine the maximum weight the equipment can safely handle and the conditions under which it can handle those weights. All stacked loads must be correctly piled and cross-tiered where possible. Precautions should also be taken when stacking and storing materials. Stored materials must not create a hazard. Storage areas must be kept free from accumulated materials that may cause tripping, fires, or explosions, or that may contribute to the harboring of rats or other pests. When stacking and piling materials, it's important to be aware of such factors as the material's height and weight, how accessible the stored materials are to the user, and the condition of the containers where the materials are